Hello and welcome back to another episode. We are once again in the factory grinding away at this, hoping to get it done so that we can get all of our redstone materials on hand so we can then go and do some projects elsewhere, because it's starting to drive me a little bit bonkers, as you may or may not be able to tell. So the plan for today is factory expansion again. Woo! We're going this way this time. We are going to completely redo the crafting setup for our individual crafting material crafters. That's a lot of words there that don't mean a whole lot. So the crafters here and here are for crafting ingredients that are required in the rest of the factory. What I'm currently doing is storing up 4 of said ingredients, which is slightly weird. So I'm going to change it up so that we're going to store all of our crafting ingredients at the back here. We're going to pretty much just put this system in, but over here for those materials, and then we can store up a backlog of them, and then we can stop crafting when we've got enough to fill up that barrel and a huge backlog, and then they just get sent into here and then join the rest of the stream up there. So I think that's a good plan, and it's something that I wanted, that thinking about how to improve the factory if I was to do it again. That's something that I would have liked to have done, is have it so, for example, the redstone torches in here, I would have liked the redstone torches to then be able to flush out of the system as well as being accessible from its own slice. So we basically have 2 places where we're going to be storing some of these materials, like our torches and our chests. So that there is the plan for this bit here. There are a few other things that have been done, like hooking up the redstone iron and a few of the other lines down here. It wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. As you can see, I've started work on the hay one here. I've stopped because, well, these lines are going to get torn out, so that's going to be fine to just go straight through there, and I don't have to worry about that. So I need to start slowly shutting off what I can of the factory, dismantling little bits of it. We've got up here our dispenser crafter, which we can move, but I'm not sure we desperately need to. I want to try and avoid moving it if I can. But yeah, that's the plan on that front, is dismantle all of these crafters, all of these lines, and replaced with color-coded ones, and they're going to end up going where are they going to go? They're going to end up powering some dispensers down here-ish. So they're basically going to swap out. So these lines here are going to become the same as these lines here, which are going to power the things that spit them out, and so they're allowed to back up. And then the lines that are going to come out of the barrels are instead going to hook up to up above where they're being crafted. So I think we just need to completely rip everything out and then go again. So we're going to have to put everything, all of the farms, on pause for a minute. So that's just going to be turning off a few, and then disabling all of the materials getting spat out of the back here. Let's have a look at our job list, because I believe I've added a few things. Chest crafter toggle, I added that last time and doesn't matter because it's getting redone. Golden carrots, yes, I realised, why am I wasting time trading at my crummy little villager setup for golden carrots when I can just farm a field really quickly and then just come and craft it with gold. So eventually we're going to get carrot farming, and so that can fill up one of our extra slots there. So there's kind of our plan. I'm going to get beginning turning everything off and ripping this out. So there we go, it is all cleared out, a lot of space now for us to do our thing. I think we're going to put it on this wall here, and I think it will just about fit, although we may have to move around this stream. I think we just need to move it down one and then put like a wall or an iron bar kind of in the middle, so the items from either side come in, hit the iron bar, fall into the water stream, and then go into our item elevator. So I don't think we really need to move anything there, because of course this takes up 3 blocks, so we need to have 13 crafting ingredients maximum there. So I have been having a little bit of a think, which is always a scary thought. Things never end well, for our 4 final ingredients that we're going to need. Okay, so let's go over to our to-do list here and we'll have a look at our final page. So golden carrots. So we are going to need carrots as one of our ingredients. That's what we're doing right now, 19, and that is just a reminder, which we'll go over in a bit. But ender chests. What about ender chests for a quality of life crafter? This has been suggested by this user here in the comments. Thank you very much for that suggestion. We're going to be doing that. So that means that we're going to need obsidian and ender pearls, and our final ingredient to round things off. One of the things that we're going to need to do is we're going to need to make a skulk farm. And I think the best way to make a skulk farm is using the new potions from 1.21 and more specifically the infested ones. So that means that we're going to need bottles in here. So we're going to need bottles, and that should then round out our crafting ingredients. And then the materials that we're crafting up to be ingredients, we are going to have these ones here. So there are 13 of these, many of these already in the system. So these ones all here, we already knew about and we've already made crafting for them, but of course we've written them out. And then our final 2, the other ones, are blaze powder for the ender chest and also for the potions for a skulk farm, and then golden nuggets for our golden carrot crafter. So that is the plan in terms of the size of things. Now we need to figure out how we're going to make them, because what we need to do is we need to combine the 2 systems we've already got. So we need the bottom half of this system here, the unloader, the loader, and the storage with the comparator signals at the back. So that will cut off about that middle bit there. But then we need the top half of this system here, where it's going to craft up the crafting material. Now we also need to combine things as well, because we need to be able to take in both the ingredient if it's overflown around and also the ingredients itself. So to avoid confusion, because that is very confusing, for our stone pressure plates, for example, we need to be able to take stone in from the water stream, and we need to be able to take in pressure plates. So we then need to, it just makes things a little bit more complicated. So I think the plan is that we have our input water stream is going to be here. That's going to drop, or it's going to come around this side. It's then going to spin around here, loop in here, and then come in all the way back this way, I think is the plan. So that way, both the ingredient and the crafted material can be picked up from the system. That's going to be a little bit of a tight squeeze, especially with this bit here, but I believe we can manage it. So let's start getting in this bottom half of the system in. So that's including this all down here. So that first little bit is in now. It's mostly complete. It's just kind of the final logic bits that we need to put in. So you've got, for each slice, you've got 2 inputs. You've got the one from the materials coming through the crafting setup, exactly the same as what we've got over there. What we're going to need to do is we're going to need to hook up from this bit here up to there, so that when that's full, then it'll turn the crafting bit off, but we're not going to be locking out this bit. So that's kind of where we're standing at the moment. Next thing is to kind of figure out where the water streams are going to go, and how that's all going to work. So it shouldn't be too hard. I think we're going to come along this way, hit the wall, slide over here, come around here, and then join up with the rest of the factory there. The dispensers coming up from here, still a little bit of a problem. I'll probably just drop that in to the line somewhere, and then that will join up and scoot around. So yeah, that's kind of our plan there. Is we've got to take this water stream here, over, down, cross, over. So that's there. Another thing I've been working on is slowly hooking up all of the other things underneath. So as you can see, we've got a lot more of these things in now. The diorites, the glass, we've got bricks, we've got copper. The copper one is now going to the one next to it, which is blaze rods, just for the time being, because at the moment the only thing requiring blaze rods is also the only thing that requires copper. Later on we're going to need to change up when we're requiring blaze rods for other things. And then we also got the rest of these in here. We're missing 3 in here, which is leather, paper and gunpowder. The leather is the only thing that we can actually put in right. Well, we can put them all in except for gunpowder because we're not using gunpowder yet, but we can put those ones in. But waffling, this is all going to get cut surely. Yeah, a lot of stuff. We've expanded, dug out some of the sections. Yeah, lots of little bits and bobs which are eventually going to come together to make this whole system working. So I think next job I'm going to program in all of the materials and stuff like that, and then we'll get in the water streams. Okay, may have stumbled upon a problem. If we're doing the ender chest crafter, then we're going to need to craft up eyes of ender, which then puts an extra slice in needed, which is fine. I think that's all right, because we can shift this over no problem. Yeah, we can shift all of that over. All of that can get shifted over. The only problem is our shulker line here. We're going to need to just shift it around, maybe have it, because we can't connect it under here because then it'll get locked. So I think what we're going to need to do is just kind of bring it out and down this way, which is fine. It's not a problem. It just makes things a little bit more awkward. But yeah, I need to get in an extra slice, and that's going to require moving, or is it? That's going to require pushing the water column back a little bit, which is fine. It's not a problem. So I'm going to get that in, get that extra bit in, and then we're all good. We're all good there. There we go. All of the water streams are in. It ain't pretty, but it works. So they come in over the dispenser crafter, down here, joining this line here, over, around, and then they come into the crafting material section first, and then they get sorted second, and then that then loops around, joins up with the rest of the system, and then goes back around into there. So in theory, we shouldn't have too much that just circles the system multiple times, only when an absolute shed load of stuff comes in at once, usually from the cobble or the bamboo farms. So that's kind of where we're looking there. In terms of this side of stuff, I'm in an awkward position, I can't see. Programming in some of the materials. We are a little bit short on some of the things, so mainly paper and blaze powder. So as you can see, this is the Eye of Ender one here. This is the blaze powder one. So we don't have enough blaze rods just to fill up, so I've just kind of blocked off anything that we're not using at the moment. And again, books and paper and stuff like that, that's the problem on that front there. So those are all in like that. But this side here, we programmed all of these ones in fine. So now we shouldn't have a problem. Now, I think that it is almost good to go. The things that we are currently missing is a way to turn on these ones here, but that's a simple hopper clock. And then we're missing most of the logic. So the main thing that we're looking at is that we're taking an output from the back here up to those bits there, so that when this is full, it's going to disable the crafting ability of the slice. Okay, so that is one of the things we need to do. Another one is disabling the requests for them as well. And we need to change up some of these ones. So I'm going to use stone pressure plates for an example. So stone pressure plates will need to request stone. So that means that we need to come around the back of the stone pressure plate line, take the signal and join it up with an AND gate to this stone line here. We also need to take anything that requires a stone pressure plate in the system, so stone pressure plates or detector rails, and we need to stop them from requesting stone, because they need to request stone pressure plates, if that makes sense. So instead of directing the crafting material, they're requesting the item that the crafting material is crafting. So we'll do another one quickly. So pistons now don't need to request anything other than a piston. So we can take out all of the lines here, so that is the wood, the cobble, the redstone and the iron from the piston itself, but we need to add them on to the piston over here. Okay, so it's a little bit of rewiring that needs to go on, but that should be fairly easy. Some of these we don't need to worry about, so like the eye of ender and the blaze powder, because those are for things that come later on. But everything else we need to get into the new revamped system. Okay, so down here, a little bit of a tight squeeze, had to move some things around and I had to shove that extra thing on the end. So now we've only got a 2-block gap here, but that's all fine, that works. Any items coming from above still go through because they can squeeze into that little gap in between the iron bar there. So that's kind of the job list to be done. Got a little bit of time just to focus on getting all of this kind of ship shape, and then also getting some of those materials as well. So farming up some sugarcane and going and fighting some blazes to get blaze rods, so we can just get all of these things programmed in, and then we don't have to worry about anything, because those are the only problem ones that we've got. Everything else is all resources that we've either got a lot of, or that we're farming. So the leather we're farming, so I can sort that out. I haven't bothered yet because the paper's not ready. And then again, we need 3 stacks of books there, another few books, probably about half a stack, because of course it will craft up twice when it fills up. So just to safety proof a lot of this stuff in here, and that's kind of it. I'm going to add some composters over these real quick, just to reduce lag a tiny bit. You know, every little helps. But then I think we can start running the old factory again pretty soon, and all that will happen is just anything here will just start to slowly back up, which is kind of what we want. So that's pretty good there. Okay, the hard bit is done. The spaghetti is cooked, and I'm in the middle of digging out so things look a little bit better. Now, all of the lines to disable the material requests are in. All of the active ones of these ones are in, and all of the lines back here to disable requests are also in for the things that we are currently crafting. So that means we are missing out on these 3 here at the end, and paper. Yeah, and that's all that we're missing from these bits. And then we're still missing the usual bits, but they're all hooked up. So you can see everything's color coded in a different way. Some things you might not expect it to be that block, but it is, because why not? My build, suck it, losers. Yeah, that's my choice. It's quite a lot of spaghetti, but it's all hooked up, it's all working, and we can see that it's probably working now as well. You may be able to see this tower here and this ice path. This is more proof that I am an idiot. So what was originally happening was these materials here, they would be spat out into this water stream, joining this water column here, and then flowing down through the system. Now the problem with that being that when they flow down through here, they flow over here, and then they flow over these hoppers here. Now these pick up those items, which means that those items were never getting into the factory. So what I've had to do is just flip it around, create a new water stream for it, and now they enter the system after this row of hoppers, so everything in the factory can now be crafted. Woo! And my stupidity is now rectified. So as we can see, all of these are AND gates coming off of here, all linking up to the right thing in the system, joining those lines, mainly the bus lines going along here that we came up with to start off with, those main materials. And any items that needed to have their thing changed has had their request changed. So let's come to pistons as an easy example here. Pistons, before we're requesting iron, cobblestone, redstone and wood. Now at the moment, all they are requesting is pistons. So that there has then made some things simpler, some things a little bit more complicated, but overall the system is now going to work a lot better and item flow is a lot smoother as well. And all of the items that we're crafting keep on ticking up. So trap chests we are now full on, pistons we are now full on, and which means that we are just down to those resources that we aren't currently crafting, or sorry, that we aren't currently farming, that we still need to get, other than redstone lamps. They are taking an absolute age to fill up, because the witch farm are not really running that much, even though we're probably pushing close to its limits on the redstone. Where are we? Yeah, we're on our final box of redstone at the moment, so we may need to go and AFK that witch farm fairly soon, and then that'll lead to those redstone lamps filling up. Great success, I think, with the expansion. You know, it's perfect, I think, and it's kind of the future of what I would do if I were to redo all of this, which maybe at some point we will. But no, seriously, it's just so cool. It's potentially my favourite thing that I've ever built in this game, and if it wasn't for this series, I wouldn't have built it, would have procrastinated it. I would have been manually crafting all of these materials, and I would have just had this system here just to store them in. But we've got them auto crafting, which is it's so useful to just come here, go, right, I need some redstone block and a torch, and bam, there you go, you've got them all ready to go. And well, I've got some plans for some expansions over here, and of course we've got the quality of life crafters as well as a lot of jobs here. Let's see, what can we cross off this list now? So disable material requests, we have done that. Chisel bookshelves needing slabs and planks, done that. Plank/bamboo to stick conversion, yeah, we can have a look at that. Fix/remove when full lockers, can remove that. More materials, glazed terracotta, I'm going to leave that in there just for the time being. Not sure if we'll actually do anything there. New farms, that all stays there because we haven't done any of them. Shulker crafter and recycler, we still need that. Quality of life crafters, we need that. Redstone book printing press, need that still. Fix that because that's no longer an issue. Slow grouper and speed items, we have kind of figured out that's fine. Cobblestone and stone farm chunk, I've done that for the cobblestone one, and the stone one hasn't been an issue, so I'm going to delete that. Change priority, tripwire next to chest, doesn't matter, we're just bulking it. There we go. This page, chest crafter toggle, we've done that. Golden carrots, don't need to do that. Redo ingredient crafters, we have done that. Rethink stop request logic, we have done that. Ender chest we've got to do. Glass bottles from Witch Farm we've got to do. And obsidian and ender pearls from bartering we've got to do. Bartering gold overflow and soul sand under the floor. So that's just for speed of movement, but that requires a little bit of finagling with some of the lines that are just right up against it. And it might be a pain anyway because of this, so I might just change the whole floor just to soul sand, just so that, I don't know, things for the future. And more beacons as well. I've left this hole here, we can get more beacons going, and then we can really get this place going as our main base in this world, and we can just expand from here on. Next time Max shouts out his subscribers. Wow, James and Josh were here, 2K14. What a sleigh. Shout out to those two. James and Josh were here 2014 on the monument. Yeah, boys. Max shouts out his subscribers. Oh, James and Josh, woo! Look at these two, they're animals in the world. Ooh, lovely, lovely, lovely. Oh, shout out, shout out, shout out. Shout out to you two for loyal subscribers. And shouts out his #1 subscriber. Hello, James. What a guy. #1 sub. Woo! Well, the factory has now been expanded properly. The logic has all been improved. Everything running smoothly, and I couldn't have asked for anything better. I'm so happy. Took the time to figure out what was wrong with the factory, what we can do better, and now those improvements they're just so massive. It's fantastic. It's going to be a great help going forwards with future autocrafting designs, because I don't intend to stop once this factory is completed. I have other projects in mind using the Autocrafter, and all of this is just building up to my final project, which is going to be an insane storage system for everything. So it's going to be a slow build to that point, but I hope that you stay with me for that journey. I've heard a lot of interest in the comments about playing with a schematic of the system. Now, I have put a link to a Google Drive so that you can download the schematic, which will only work if you have Litematica, and then you just pop the schematic in your world, and then you can build off of that. Okay, if you are interested in a block by block tutorial, leave a comment down below and subscribe, and also like, and then you may just well see that video in the future. So that is all from me. Thank you very much, and goodbye.